Goldfish in white sauce, steamed baby birds, something hairy called hair vegetable in chicken soup, and beautiful women's rolling buttocks. These were some of the dishes American reporters said were served to First Lady Pat Nixon on her trip to China in 1972. But were they? Were the Chinese really eating goldfish and posing with baby birds? Today we're going to find out what really happened. Hi, my name is Christy, and this is the American Chinese Food Show. Working on this channel means I've had to read a lot of racist commentary about Chinese food, and 1972 was no exception. When Pat Nixon visited the kitchens of the Peking Hotel, American press coverage made it sound like she'd stumble into a sideshow. Quote, she barely blanched in passing through the rooms where pheasants and ducks hung out to drain, one reporter wrote. Another said she offered fiery stuffed pickled squash to a journalist who grew pale after tasting it. But here's the thing. Nixon's visit to China wasn't just symbolic diplomacy. It was one of the most important moments for Chinese food in America. That week, the country got a rare glimpse of what food looked like in the motherland, and it sparked a culinary renaissance. That's for another episode. Today, I just want to focus on Pat. Specifically what she saw, what she ate, and how it was reported through both American and Chinese lenses. Here's the American footage.
Next, a visit to the kitchen of the Peking Hotel, where some of the world's finest Chinese food is prepared.
Isn't that fascinating, the way that each thing is prepared separately? Boy, you cook up quite a storm.
Pat looks unsure of what to do with herself. At one point, she startles the chef and cracks a joke. You can see the chef washing a wok with a bamboo brush, probably confusing for editors unfamiliar with Chinese kitchens. While Nixon handled the official meetings, Pat was off touring the Evergreen People's Commune, an acupuncture clinic, a school, a hospital, the Summer Palace, and the Peking Hotel. Every stop was carefully chosen. The school, for example, was a subtle flex. Look how good our kids are at math. The hotel, that one carried historical weight. The Peking Hotel started as a French restaurant in the legation quarter in 1900 during the dying years of the Qing dynasty. It moved next to the Forbidden City and became a luxury hotel for diplomats. Then came the 20th century. The Japanese took over in 1937. The Kuomintang used it to host US troops in the 40s. After 1949, it became a symbol of the new regime. The first official banquet of the People's Republic was held there. It's a building layered with political meaning. When Pat arrived, she headed straight for the kitchen. She said, I think all Americans love Chinese food, so I thought of it. 115 staff members were preparing hundreds of dishes for the 200 guests staying at the hotel. In the Chinese footage, the focus is on the artistry of Chinese cuisine. Here it is.
尼可松夫人就专程来到北京饭店，参观了琳琅满目的菜点和名厨们的操作表演。尼可松夫人说：“我热爱在这里的每一分钟。”
In a room devoted entirely to vegetable carving, cooks shaped radishes, turnips, and sugar beets into 6-foot-tall floral displays. Pat picked up a radish carnation, pinned it onto a cook's chest, and said, "It's pretty enough to wear." Here's a photo that clearly shows what was laid out for her. A tray with chopsticks, forks, a few plates, and some kitchen cloths. In the earlier footage, you can see Pat picking up the chopsticks herself instead of choosing a fork. If you're curious about how the People's Republic of China designs state banquets for foreign guests, I go into more detail in another episode. But in short, there are strict guidelines. No fish with bones, mild flavors only, nothing that might offend or overwhelm. The 3 dishes in front of her were clearly handpicked, safe and understated. I pulled out the 1979 Peking Hotel Cookbook. It's 1,000 pages. The dishes are sorted by cuisines, almost 300 Sichuanese dishes, 150 for Cantonese, 235 for Huaiyang, 121 from the Tang family school, Tam Ga Choi. Start with the tray in front of her. Those white balls, they're pigeon eggs. In traditional Chinese medicine, they're called animal ginseng, supposed to nourish the kidneys and detoxify the body. So they're first fully cooked, peeled, soaked in seasoned stock, then lightly battered with corn flour and deep fried in lard. The final dish is called crepe silk fabric pigeon eggs, 糟沙鴿蛋, named for their delicate crinkled surface. To the left, it looks like a tofu skin wrap of some sort, maybe shrimp rolls wrapped in bean curd, I'm not so sure. The middle dish, if you zoom in, you can spot the mushrooms. This is probably what the AP described as, quote, the First Lady deftly locked her chopsticks into a morsel of chicken breast simmering in a soy and mushroom sauce. It could be the Cantonese-style fuyong chicken, thinly sliced chicken cooked with egg whites and mushrooms, or maybe the Lu cuisine version where minced chicken is deep-fried and reshaped to look like whole slices again. Now let's tackle the more sensational descriptions. Fiery stuffed pickled squash. It could be stuffed cucumber, daikon, apple, pear, garlic, green onion, chili, soaked in beef broth for 48 hours. It sounds incredible. Steamed baby birds couchant. Honestly, most of our banquet birds are plated upright, legs tucked, heads raised. It could have been anything, maybe even pastries shaped like birds. Goldfish in white sauce. That's what the reporters called it, but there's no goldfish involved. In Chinese cuisine, white sauce usually starts with a base of chicken stock. Add lard and chicken fat, Shaoxing wine, green onion and ginger. It's light but rich. One likely candidate, a fishbowl dish made from minced sturgeon mixed with ginger water and green onion, then gently cooked. Hot chicken stock is poured over the top, finished with aged ham and fresh pea sprouts. And then the other one is something hairy called hare, vegetable, and chicken soup. So maybe fa choy, the black moss algae? It shows up in a few recipes, a pig knuckle stew, a vegetarian stew, and one that seems closest is to what the reporter described, fa choy fish ball soup. Was this actually just the same dish as the goldfish and white sauce? I don't know. Beautiful woman's rolling buttocks. I looked everywhere and couldn't find a dish by that name. Please comment below if you know. It was described as pork fillets that the chefs were kneading and molding into flaccid lumps. We have way too many lumped pork dishes. Egg rolls rampant on a field of seaweed. I can't exactly find the recipe with seaweed in the book, but it could be the Sichuanese pig called fat egg roll. In this video, you can see the seaweed. But at least the reporter got one thing right. We do love our poached birds. Some banquet dishes are sculpted into phoenixes and peacocks even. The reporter behind most of these descriptions was Hugh Mulligan from the Associated Press. His story got syndicated and nationwide. People say he was funny and kind, maybe, but when it came to food, or at least other people's food, he didn't seem particularly respectful. The kitchen tour was framed as a spectacle. I would have killed to be there. History has long been written by the same few voices. Hopefully this episode helps us look at Chinese food without the filter of bias. As for Pat, honestly, I think she did pretty well. She seemed genuinely interested in people, especially women. I loved the way she held their hands. And hey, she got us pandas.
Just checking to see how the panda thing went. I've been in a meeting, and so I wasn't able to
they
check.
were just darling.
That's it for today's episode. If you like our content, subscribe to the channel. See you soon.